Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing. It's Friday night, which means it's time for instalment number one of the Friday night's evening's entertainment. So, I'm Front Row Racing DP. I'm joined by Front Row Racing RI. We're getting set up for the Front Row Racing FRR-idays Cup round 17 at Mexico. Now, the FRR-idays Cup is the feeder series into our F1 leagues. It's where the drivers come along, they show what they can do, and if they do well, they get to go on the reserve driver list for the World Championship, the No Assist League, and the World Series, the Assists Allowed League. As I mentioned, I'm from a Racing DP, otherwise known as Dave Leighton Beds, and joined by Ray, or otherwise known as Ray Charbrooks. I hope you're well this evening, Ray.
Yep, I'm very well. Have you laid in bed much today?
You know what, I haven't. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Now, we are running a little bit delayed this evening, partly because I've had to have a bit of a word with a few of the drivers. So quickly run through what drivers we've got on the grid. We've got Ahar, Alex and Tyler, our 2003 in Mercedes. Nobody in the Red Bull. John Rhinos and Azamore in the Williams. Millstar and Pro Exotic J in the Ferrari. GC82, a new driver, and Ahar Danny in McLaren. RDB and Cool Mr. Ennis in Force India. Twist Royalty in the Toro Rosso. That guy Myron in Lotus, joined by Boran C2709 and Drew 871105 in the Sauber. Okay, Ray, if we want to send the drivers over to the racetrack, the auto where the first Grand Prix was held here in 1963, but the circuit has changed a lot since that era. Obviously, we know about the new baseball stadium section of the track, and it'll be a tough sector for the drivers to deal with here today. Now, they'll have an 18-minute short qualifying session and then a 25% race, which is going to be somewhere in the region of 12, 13, maybe 14 laps. I haven't actually checked exactly how many it is. The other settings are the FIA strict ruling is on strict. Damage is off. That's to give any drivers that get screwed over in the first couple of corners the opportunity to recover and show what they can do. Now, those drivers that actually had reserve drives this week have been gifted the night off from the FRR-idays Cup. Basically to try and give a few of the other drivers a bit more opportunity to get into the lobby, with those guys having done reserve drives this week. That's RDB, who actually is in the lobby, RMS Maranello, Mr. Hamilton 44, and not Tyler, Lefty Hardtail, having reserve drives. They've shown what they can do in the World Championship and the World Series, so they've been given the night off tonight. I'll tell you what, Ray, it's looking a little bit gloomy here in Mexico.
Yep, overcast with a chance of showers.
Well, I'm sure the drivers will be hoping that it does not rain this evening. Now, we did manage to catch up with a few of the drivers before we came to the circuit for some pre-race comments, and we'll try and get to those as soon as we can. But I would once again say to the drivers, if they could get their messages to us as early as possible, a good hour or so before we get going. That way it gives us plenty of time. I know I was late getting online today, but the sooner the messages come in, the easier it is for us, rather than at sort of quarter past. Yeah. Okay, now looking at the drivers on the circuit, now I'm going to go straight on board with Cool Mr. Ennis. For any of the viewers that have watched the FRR-idays Cup over the last few weeks, you'll remember back to Suzuka, where Cool Mr. Ennis had a bit of an event that he will probably want to forget. And he wasn't sent invites for the next couple of FRR-idays sessions. I had a word with him after that particular race and explained to him why that would be. But I do know he did want to try and get back in. But he's been given the opportunity on a couple of grounds, really, and this is why we're running a little bit delayed this evening. One is that if he has an event that was anything like the Suzuka one, he doesn't get an invite again. It's as simple as that. This is his last chance, effectively. We appreciate that people make mistakes and they do things that really they shouldn't. It's whether they learn from those mistakes. Now, I did say to him, if that means that you don't set a qualifying time, you start at the back of the grid and you drive around very lonely at the back of the grid, not getting anybody near anyone, then that's better than causing a load of mayhem. Because at the end of the day, the people it affects the most are the other drivers on the circuit. Anyway, Ray, who are you going to probably try and keep an eye on this week?
At the moment, I'm on that guy Myron 2000, but I might have a look at Pros Optic.
Yeah.
There's a new guy in. I've not caught his name yet.
GC82.
So, yeah, I'll have a wee look at him.
Okay.
How they get on.
Oh. I think Cool Mr. Ennis is trying to take it a little bit cautious here, and is perhaps getting caught out a little bit by cars coming near him quite fast. So this is one of those situations where it's kind of tricky for Cool Mr. Ennis, but it's going to be a real test of his spatial awareness. But it's one of the things I was saying to the drivers, and I know that yourself, Ray, other drivers, other commentators, oh, we've got a Mercedes flying. I'm not sure who that is. There's a Mercedes with a lot of lag there. It's Tyler, R2003. His car is all over the place. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. One of the things that a lot of the commentating team, the drivers, that we really want to see from the up-and-coming crop of drivers is awareness. Knowing that there's a car behind you, knowing there's a car alongside you, giving them that little bit of room. Okay.
Yeah, because it's no point in not giving them, and then you're in an accident, and then you're at the back of the grid, and you've done all that hard work with your practice, try to get your set up, and then it's all blown. Yep.
I agree with you. Now, Boran here, he's already set a lap time. Tyler, he's left the session. That could be a disconnection. Either that or he's watching the live stream and he's heard that he's got a lot of lag. If you are watching the live stream, it's advisable not to while you're driving, because it can add to the lag. Now, Boran's had his lap time invalidated. Cool Mr. Ennis is into Sector 1. I tell you what, I think I may have just seen a little spot of rain. I could be wrong. And Cool Mr. Ennis is definitely struggling here with his braking, locking up a lot. Now, if he is getting a lot of locking up, it would be advisable to perhaps stick on a little bit of ABS. In the FRR-idays, the drivers are allowed to use assists, as that guy Myron goes and puts himself up into third place. Looks like he's going for another lap, so we'll see how he is getting on. And with Tyler not being able to get in, Lefty Hardtail has joined. Now, I did say that some drivers have been given the night off, but they were still sent invites when there were spaces available. It's one of the reasons why I was saying to the drivers as well, drivers, do not invite people into the lobby, because we have a specific invite order. So, and I'll mention this now so that when the drivers watch this back, they should know about it. I mean, they've been told about it, it's been posted on Facebook, but it works like this. At approximately 7:10, we will send invites to those drivers that couldn't make it into the last race event. So at 7:10, those guys that couldn't get in the lobby or couldn't make that race, they'll get the first invite. They've got 5 minutes to get into the lobby. At 7:15, those drivers that raced the previous week and made it to the end or resulted in a DNF, they'll get invited in. They've got 5 minutes to get into the lobby. At 7:20, we'll invite the new drivers. People who have shown interest, want to join, we'll send them invites. They've got 5 minutes to get into the lobby. At 7:25, we'll invite those drivers that ended up with a disqualification from the previous event or have had prior warnings about their driving. So those guys that get disqualified by being off track too much, doing something they shouldn't do, they are at the bottom of the list for getting an invite. It might seem a bit cruel, but it's a way that'll work very well. So when drivers sit there going, oh, well, I want my mate to join, I'll send him an invite, they're going to get kicked out straight away. Anyway, let's try and focus on the on-track action, shall we, Ray? Or I'll sit here ranting all night.
I don't want you in a ranting mood. Let's watch the action.
No, don't worry. You might not want me ranting. We'll see how long it takes for Tempafear to put a comment up that'll get me on a rant. Okay.
Puts when I'm not reading it out.
Okay, now Pro Exotic J, you were mentioning him earlier. Now we know that in last week's event he did have a bit of an interesting one, shall we say. Looked like he definitely struggled a lot. Oh, and around turn 1 and 2, he's struggling here in Mexico. Now, it is a situation where if you've got fast drivers, they have to be aware of the slower drivers, and the slower drivers have to be aware of the faster drivers. Oh, that guy Myron, you don't want to be going for an overtake there. But yeah, so I'm not in a ranting mood, but I can feel myself building into one. We'll just wait for someone to do something. There's the question of the day. At what point of the session will FRR Racing DP go on a rant? Okay, I tell you what, I mean, Pro Exotic J, I'm looking at a couple of these guys and I'm thinking, okay, I can tell like this guy, it looks like he's using a pad, but he looks like he's got absolutely no grip in his car. Now it could be lag, or it could be that he's not confident about this track or what have you, but I mean, one of the things I said to a driver some time ago was, if you're not confident about a track, right, your base setup aeros 4-4. If you go 4-4 at pretty much every track, you'll be okay, except for Singapore, Monaco, Hungary, right? But if you go 4-4 aeros at pretty much every other track, you'll have good grip. You'll get better lap times than you will if you're running 1-1, which is what a lot of people might use, thinking, well, I've got to use 1-1, but then they get to corners and realise, oh, I can't get around it. So yeah, if you're struggling a little bit, go to 4-4 aeros. It'll give you an absolutely fantastic base aero setting to go for that'll be pretty quick down the straights and will handle the corners. So for any of those drivers that are struggling, give that a try. I mean, on 1-1 aeros, okay, you might get around this track with a semi-decent lap time, but you'll do it once out of 10 attempts. On 4-4 aeros, you might be half a second off, but you'll do it on every one of your 10 laps. So over the course of 10 laps, you're going to be a lot faster. And I tell you what, for the driver that I actually mentioned that to, he went from struggling a little bit to getting better and better and better and better. Okay, Ray, shall we get on to some pre-race comments?
Yeah, I'm just watching Drew just now.
Interesting, so am I.
He had his lap time invalidated last time round, I'm sure. It paused at sector 2 and never came back on. But his pre-race comment was, the chicken came first, hopefully we make it out alive.
Well, I'm going to argue that the chicken didn't come first. The chicken did not come first. Here's one for you. What came first? The deep fat fryer or the batter that goes around the chicken?
The deep fat fryer or the batter that came around the chicken? Well, you need the deep fat fryer first before you could...
Well, you think that, but if you made the batter and you tried to cook it and then you went, well, that's not worked, maybe I need a deep fat fryer, you make a deep fat fryer, it could have gone either way. Anyway, Drew is not had this lap invalidated, so we'll see what lap time he's able to post. It's a 1:20.721, that puts him 6th place. Now, looking at last season's FRR-idays lap times, qualifying was the fastest lap in qualifying was a 1:17.198 in the dry by Bart Dude. So I've not actually looked at what current pole position time is, Ray, if you want to just quickly check that while I watch GC82. A 119.0, okay, but I do think we've got fairly cool temperatures coming in now. Yeah, new driver here, GC82, no idea what he drives like. By the looks of it, I'd almost be tempted to say he's on a wheel. He's not got very twitchy steering, and that's usually the giveaway sign. Either that or he's very smooth on his controller. Let's see, he's done a 23.2 sector 1. Oh, he may be invalidated. No, he's got away with that one. 23.2, a 29.7. He's into the baseball sector, baseball ground sector. Very tricky part of the course, and Mansell curve. Make his way now up to the start finish line. Let's see what lap time this is going to be. It's going to be in the 19s, maybe 20s. It's a 21.183. So let's see, Ahad Danny, he's just gone pole position with a 1:18.8. Now what I would probably say is we may not see the fastest of lap times from the guys here today, because those drivers who would probably be up there putting in really, really quick lap times, the likes of Mr. Hamilton 44, RMS Maranello, Lefty Hardtail, they're not on track. RDB is in qualifying. He's currently done a 1:19.0, but with him having a reserve drive this week just gone, he will have had very, very limited practice around this track. That's another reason why we've kind of given those guys a free pass, so to speak, for this event, because they will not have had the time to get the practice in. Okay, let's see, John Rhinos, he's on a flying lap, sector 1 of a 23.2, and when we caught up with John Rhinos earlier on today, he's just invalidated himself, has he, or was that the sector? So 29.8, it was the sector, 29.8 sector 2, he's got a car ahead of him. Are they going to get in the way at all? A little bit. He's got 2 more cars ahead of him. So through the tricky Mickey Mouse section, Mansell curve to go. And you really want to get on the power early there, but you have to be careful of the rear end spinning out. What's his lap time going to be? It's a 1:20.6. That puts him at 6th place. But yeah, John Rhino's pre-race comments: confident for the race tonight, got good speed, looking for a top 4 finish. Now that's confidence coming from a guy who, near the start of the season, okay, he was involved in a few collisions in the opening laps, but he was struggling to stay within a lap of the leader, whereas now he's been running mid-pack for the last few races and he has been making massive improvements. Azamor 590, he's heading up to the end of sector 1. It's a 23.3. I don't think we had any pre-race comments from Azza, did we?
No.
Nope. So he saved us doing a little bit of typing up on that one. But Azamor, he'll be wanting to have a really good showing here. See what he'll get through. I mean, the section of corners he's coming to now, it's a very interesting one. Very easy to get it wrong, but in many respects you kind of have to treat it like Suzuka's sector 1. The way you take one corner will dictate how you take the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. You get one wrong, you get them all wrong.
I had a wee go just before you came on, and it was mostly the baseball section I was struggling with.
Yeah, it's a very easy section of corners, the final, like into the baseball stadium. Let's just see what time Azza's going to get. It's a 21.8, only 10th place at the moment. Let's see, who else do we have out on track? Aha, Alex. He is he on an outlap? He's on an outlap, yes. So we'll keep an eye on him in a few moments' time. Cool Mr. Ennis is in the pits. Pro Exotic J is out on the prime tyres on a outlap. Let's see, Drew's on a flyer. Let's see, his RDB, he's just setting himself up for a flying lap, but he has got a car ahead of him. Yeah, I mean, this circuit is one where, I mean, one of the things I tend to do is I'll drive around a track and work out which is the most difficult corner on the track and have the car set up to be able to take that corner as best as possible. Then work out if it's going to compromise me around the rest of the circuit. Because, for example, the best way to deal with the final sector in many respects here would be to go with high aeros. Problem is, if you do that, you're going to be ridiculously slow down the start finish, and I think RDB is a little bit, well, 23.2 sector 1 on prime tyres, that's not too bad. Well, it's actually comparable to quite a few of the drivers on the option tyres. Yeah, so you have to find that compromise, but for any drivers that are struggling with how to set up their car for a circuit, it can be very useful to work out which is the corner you're struggling with the most and set your car up for that corner. Because there's no point being really fast around the rest of the track if you're losing a second or two in one corner every lap. So you might as well make the most of that corner, lose half a second everywhere else. RDB looks like his lap is over. Millstar, we've not really spoken much about Millstar this evening. To be honest, I've not got to most of the drivers' pre-race comments. But let's see what
I
Millstar.
just shoved on traction control and ABS and I got 2 seconds faster.
Well, yeah, I mean that'll work as well. Now Millstar had his last lap invalidated. He looks like he's going for another flying one. And what was it Millstar had to say about his event here this evening, Ray?
He wants to win today. Annoying penalties cost me my win in Russia, and I lost to Twist in Singapore by 0.003 of a second. First race I missed last week since I joined last season in Singapore. I got like 10 missed calls from Puro Exotic, and he hopes to beat Maranello, but I don't think Maranello's in, is he?
No, Maranello's not racing this evening. I mean, Millstar, when he last raced 2 weeks ago, thought Miss Hamilton 44 wasn't racing. So this week he says, I want to beat Maranello. Well, Maranello's not racing. But this is a guy who, Millstar's been a very good FRR-idays driver since the day he joined. He had reserve drives in the very early stages of the season. We're about to get kicked out up to the commentary box. He had a couple of reserve drives early on, struggled a little bit with being able to upload his footage, but showed he's got ability and talent. And he has improved on it dramatically over the course of this season. It's just been kind of unfortunate for him that you've got guys like Mr. Hamilton 44, Lefty Hardtail, RDB, RMS Maranello, It's Hammer Time, that have all come through the FRR-idays system and are there capable of beating him just as much as he's capable of beating them. So yeah, I'm not surprised that he sits there and sees those guys getting reserve drives and thinking, I want to beat them because I want to show everyone that I'm better than they are. I can do just as good a job as them. Pick me as your reserve. Okay, GC82 is the last on track, I think, and he's making his way into the pit lane. So that'll be qualifying over. Let's see. Pre-race comments, we'll quickly thrash through the rest of them. Twist Royalty, I'm back tonight, hoping to have a strong race. Let's see, Aha Danny, not feeling overly confident about tonight's race, but hoping to achieve a finish within the top 7, maybe not. That was his own maybe not. Let's see, and Aha Alex, he said, on my way home, we'll try and be on for 7:10. And that was about it for the pre-race comments. Okay, so
Tyler, but he's gone. I have not done any practice around here to get his a podium. Well, we get first to his bed or to the pub.
Yeah, he'll be first to somewhere. He was the first out of the session, so he has won something. Okay, so qualifying is over now. Hopefully, I can hear cars going around the track, but I can't go and view any of them, so I'm sure the session will come to an end in a few moments' time. Now, I can't see that I saw anything overly dodgy on track there, but towards the end of the session wasn't really keeping an eye on too many people. But if we have a look, Aha Danny takes pole position. RDB, second place, less than 2/10 behind on the prime tyre. Twist Royalty joining him there on the prime tyre. Then we've got Millstar. Says Nico Rosberg, that would have been Tyler. John 94 Rhinos, Drew in 7th, GC82 in 8th, Boran in 9th, Azamort 10th, Aha Alex in 11th, that guy Myron 12th, Cool Mr. Ennis 13th, and Pro Exotic J 14th. Now, you look at the times there, and all of the drivers did manage to get a time in, but I can imagine there would have been quite a few invalidated laps there.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Quite possibly, yeah.
We've got Ando, he's watching, he's saying, I'm watching a few drivers tonight, so Maybe if he wins the World Series, he's looking to see who he's going to give a reserve to.
Quite possibly. But it's time now for the front row racing FRR-idays Cup, round 17 in Mexico. It's time for the race. It's looking cloudy. It looks like it could rain at any point. But it is a good comment that you made there, Ray. I'm not surprised that Hindle is watching this. I also know that a few other people will be watching this because they want to have a look at which guys could be worthy of stepping up and having a reserve drive for them in the last few races of the season. Because opportunities could arise. And for the likes of Hindle, who did say on the World Series podium interviews last night that if he wins, will you do the front row racing thing of starting from the back of the grid? He said, no, I will give a reserve driver my seat. Now, I like that, and it just goes to show that all of the drivers on this grid, that's effectively now what they're driving for. The opportunity to go and sit in Hindle's car for one, maybe two of the last races of the World Series season. Okay, anyway, it's time to get ready for the lights to go out. It's a long run down to turn one, so off the drivers go, making their way. And Lefty Hardtail has just flown straight past me, but we'll try and get on board with the drivers. It could get very busy down into turn one. It could get busy before then. It is. Hopefully the drivers will be able to get around the first few corners. No, GC82, he's been spun. Boran's been spun as well. There's 4 cars off at turn one.
Alex.
Oh, it looks like Lefty Hardtail and Drew are lagging a little bit. That could be Lefty Hardtail. With him joining late, he may not be able to see a few of the drivers there.
Now, Rhino's up to 4th.
I know, he's up to 4th.
There's a spin at the back. I think it's a bit of lag, but no, the Red Bull, Lefty Hardtail.
Yeah, Lefty Hardtail.
He's collected.
Yeah, Lefty Hardtail's gone for a spin. Okay, so let's see. Who have we got leading the race? It should be a Hardani. It is. A Hardani is leading the race with Twist Royalty right behind him, but he's got Millstar right up his gearbox. Now, I think... yeah, prime tyres for Twist Royalty. Millstar on the options. He's not going to want to waste any time around that Toro Rosso. He's going to want to get ahead and drive away. Now, where is RDB? Because RDB also started on the prime tyre. He is...
oh, Lefty Hardtail's just through Azamat. He's drove under Azamat.
Yeah, like I say, Ray, I'm fairly sure...
right?
No, Ray, it's because Lefty Hardtail joined late. I don't think he can see these cars. So it's a lot like what happened at Singapore with Kev 187. But a little further back, we've got a Har Alex trying to make a move on GC82 up the inside into turn one. Looks like he's made a nice little move there. Okay, so Hardani still leading. Twist Royalty, he's gone and overtaken Millstar into second place. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Ray. It's just I'd already commented on it and spotted what was happening there. But I do know, actually, that can bring me on to something that I do know that quite a few of the admins are discussing putting time limits on when drivers may be able to actually join a lobby, because, for example, we've got a situation now where Lefty Hardtail may not be able to see drivers and he's just driving through them. But that's all stuff that's of the many things that get discussed throughout a season. Anyway, Azamat
made 2 places in 1 lap. He was behind Mr. Cool Ernest, who's still cutting the track a wee bit too much for league liking, should I say. Okay, well, Millstar, he's going for a move on Twist Royalty up at the front. Twist Royalty's got the slipstream of a Hardani though, but Millstar really trying to make that move work. He's managed to. Drew is fending off RDB. RDB on the prime tyres at the moment. Excuse me. Williams there. Let's see, who would that be? That would be John Rhinos. He's now under attack from Drew, who's chucked it up the inside. He's gone deep though. Drew's made a little bit of a mess of that one. So John Rhinos survives that battle to fight another day. But Drew and RDB now going at it. Yeah, and Drew didn't just come straight back on like, who was it? What's his name? The Williams driver.
Depends on whether you're on about a real Williams driver or what about Bottas?
Not Massa, the other one.
Bottas.
Bottas. Remember, he came straight back on. I think he hit Raikkonen, or was it the other way round?
It might have been the other way round. Lefty hardtail, he's making a move now, slightly sideways, but trying to get past Drew. And this is one of the things we don't like to see, but there we go. Okay, what have we got? Cool Mr. Ennis. Oh, he's a bit of a cork in the bottle at the moment. Ahar Alex behind him, struggling for a little bit of traction by the looks of things. DRS will now be available. Now with a long run down to turn 1, and should be able to make moves into turn 1. As up alongside, DRS open. Can he make the move? Oh, that's there. He spotted the car was there. Gave the guy room. Oh, the car behind him hasn't. No, and now they're both into a crash. I think that may have been...
That guy, Myron.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
And GC82 has moved 2 places up with that.
Well, it's a bit unfortunate for cool Mr. Ennis there, because he was doing that quite nicely. And then the next car behind them just sort of said... Nagamara's just tagged the back of someone, and he's now facing the wrong direction. Oh, you don't do that. You don't do that, my friend. That's what you would definitely call an unsafe return to track. I tell you what, though, here's a little mix-up for you, Ray. Twist Royalty is now leading this race. Millstar's in second. Ahar Danny is in third. We've not seen what happened there, but Twist Royalty, I'm fairly sure, is on the prime tyre. Yes, he is. And Millstar and Ahar Danny, they're on the options. So Twist Royalty seems to have a little bit of pace here. In the background, we've got Force India trying to overtake Williams as these two go side by side into turns 1 and 2. Millstar sneaks ahead, but is going to come under pressure now because DRS is available again after turn 3. There's Twist Royalty, he can't go for a move, he's too far back. Ahar Danny, he's chucked it up the inside. Oh, Twist Royalty had to take a little bit of evasive there. Excuse me. All getting a little bit frantic here in Mexico. And Drew has become a little bit of a cork in the bottle now. He's managed to get ahead of John Rhinos. RDB on the prime tyre is kind of looks a little bit stuck there at the moment. But 18-lap race we're on, so the option tyres, the drivers, if the tyres were brand new, could probably get 9-10 laps out of them. If they're qualified on, John Rhinos, he's going for it. He's not hanging about. Straight past Drew. RDB's trying to follow him. Oh, careful, Drew. Oh, how they all got... Okay, how they all got through there, I'm not exactly sure, but they've given each other room. They've all got through. That's what you call a fairly decent bit of driving. Okay, so you say Millstar is in the lead. He is, as they make their way towards the camera, but Twist Royalty, he's going for a move. He's having a look up the inside. He's already passed.
He's got some speed.
He's got more than some speed. He's got epic speed. But Ahar Danny and Lefty Hardtail would have had DRS as well. Oh, Lefty Hardtail, he's gone. He's spinning. He's going to have to be careful now with the cars coming up behind him because they're going to come through turn 3 fairly damn quick, and they're all fighting. That's RDB and... Let's see, RDB, John Rhinos. I'm wondering then if the other car, Drew, has gone for the pit lane. Yes, he has. He's come out of the pits on prime tyres. Azamor, he's come out of the pits on option tyres. He might be on a 2-stop strategy. I don't think he's going to get 12 laps out of those. Boran into the pits. He's gone option to option. He's on a 2-stop strategy then. With Twist Royalty, I think he's showing he's got a little bit of pace around here in Mexico.
Yep, and we've got Drew. Oh, Drew's tagged Cool Mr. Earnings. Oh, unlucky. And it spun Cool Mr. Earnings. So he just needs to watch how much he cuts the corner in case he gets disqualified. Yeah, I mean, that's something I would say. I mean, if you do end up getting hit off, one thing you want to make sure you don't do is reverse or let your car roll backwards. If you do, you're pretty much 100% going to get disqualified. But also, if you're going to end up cutting a corner because someone's hit you off, do it nice and slow. Now, I tell you what, Millstar, he's made a pit stop. He's coming out on the prime tyre just behind GC82. John Rhinos, he's made a pit stop coming out on the prime tyres.
and into a clear bit of track. But here comes Drew. He pitted the lap before, so his tyres will be up to temperature. But Drew can't get close enough to attack in any way. Alex, he's just come out of the pits on prime tyres, and he's now got Azamort behind him on options.
Yeah, and Cool Mr. Ernst tapped the back of Azamort, made Azamort a wee bit, kind of wriggle a bit. What respect to Cool Mr. Ernst, he hit the brakes and did not overtake, and let Azamort go ahead.
So despite the what could only have been described as shocking race he had at Suzuka, would you say that in these first 7 laps he's been showing signs of improvement?
Yeah, there's been a lot of improvement.
Good. Okay, Danny is now into the pits. Twist Royalty has continued on. Lefty Hardtail, he had a spin, and I don't think he has pitted yet, so he's up to second place, with Twist Royalty still leading. RDB, he's in third place. I don't think he's made a stop yet. I could be wrong, or no, he hasn't, because he's still running the prime tyre. So Millstar and Danny, Millstar has come out ahead by quite a distance, and that's the benefit of the undercut. You see, Danny has gone prime tyres. John Rhinos is on prime tyres, and he's keeping that gap to Drew now. Now, the only thing that I would say for Twist Royalty, who is leading this race at the moment, is that he is having an absolute stormer here, but everyone that's pitted before him is now going to gain on him. But also, in previous events, he has struggled a lot with internet connection. Now, I do know that he has said to me he is going to be looking at getting Ethernet cables and stuff like that. And I'm going to curse him now by saying his car is looking a lot more stable on the circuit. So I'm wondering if he has got that actually plugged in and connected, which is giving him and others more chance of racing next to him. So into the pits he goes then. Lefty Hardtail is trying to get in the pits and just about manages to get there. RDB is continuing on, but here comes Millstar. He was one of the leading pack that pitted early, so it's going to be Millstar versus Twist Royalty. But Ray, who have you got your eyes on at the moment?
I was watching the two you were talking about, and Lefty Hardtails came out. Oh no, there's a pit lane glitch because Lefty Hardtails just shot back.
Okay, well, Twist Royalty has come out of the pits in third place, just ahead of Danny, and a little bit behind Millstar. But he is now on the option tyres, so he's looking to do 9 and 9 here on his tyre split. And I tell you, there's a lot of debris in the air from the trees here, a lot of blossom and leaves. So it'll be interesting now to see what Twist Royalty can do, because RDB is leading this race but has got a stop to make. And if it becomes between Millstar and Twist Royalty, then Twist Royalty could be on for this one. But having said that, he was very competitive on the prime tyres while others were on options. Oh, there we go, his leg's kicking in. So it is possible that his tyres, he could burn up these options very, very easily, and the drivers like Millstar and Danny may be able to fight back towards the end of this race. But Twist Royalty is close enough for DRS. He's close enough to really go for it here. He's on the better, grippier tyres, although it's not about grip down this start finish. It's going to be all about straight line speed. He's got DRS wide open, and I tell you what, Millstar now seems quick in the straight. So Twist Royalty's not been able to get the move done. Millstar going hard on the brakes. Twist Royalty having a look up the inside, can't quite get the move done. Another DRS straight coming up. Ooh, we could be looking at a bit of a lunge into turn 4. He's up alongside. He now earns the right to a bit of space. He's been given the bit of space, but Millstar holds him off. And a lovely switch back by Twist Royalty there to now have the inside line around the hairpin. That puts Millstar a little bit wide, but actually a lovely bit of driving between the two of them there. But now Twist Royalty needs to use the rest of sector 2 and 3 to try and pull away and break that DRS gap. But that's a really nice bit of driving by these two. And Millstar, he'll be a little bit frustrated about that one, because weren't his pre-race comments, I want to win this one.
Yes.
Now
And he wasn't
RDB,
happy that he lost to Twist by 0.003 of a second. So.
exactly. Okay, RDB, he's into the pits. Twist Royalty has got Millstar behind him. He's on prime tyres, but he's got DRS. He's coming like an absolute rocket here. Oh, Twist Royalty! Oh, I think he's closed the door a little too aggressively there. From fantastic driving to slightly too aggressive. I mean, there's one thing defending your line, there's another thing completely blocking a guy, and it did look a little bit, a little bit like. That's what it looked like. Okay, that guy Myron disqualified. Unfortunate for him. Now,
Twist is like Millstar through.
Quite possibly. I tell you what, if Millstar he more than likely did do. But you know what? If he has just gone, oh, you know what? I think I ballsed up there. I'm going to let the guy through. That earns you respect, because Millstar will be sat there going, He's just blocked me. Rah rah rah. 2 corners later, okay, he's giving me the place back. End of argument. Okay, Twist Royalty now trying to have a sneaky look around the outside into the stadium section, but he might as well wait a moment and go for the DRS. I'll tell you what, Ray, have a flick through the rest of the grid and see what you've got brewing up, and also keep an eye on those guys that we wanted to keep an eye on.
Danny and left the hardtail.
Okay.
About seconds apart. You've got Joint Rhinos and RDB coming down the start-finish straight. RDB's got the slipstream, the DRS, and he's got the overtake done way before the corner.
Yep, so that's
not even in the braking zone yet.
Well, that is one of the things about this particular circuit, that the start-finish straight is so long that if you've got a good run, you can be way ahead before you get to turn 1. Now, Millstar and Twist Royalty, they've swapped places again with another bit of beautiful driving, it's got to be said, giving each other a bit of space through turns 1 and 2. Just behind them, a hard, not too far behind, they're ready to pounce if any mistakes happen. John Rhinos is...
Azamots went deep, and he's now got Alex all over the back of him, double right-hander.
I'm wondering if Azamot is at a stage where his option tyres, his second set of option tyres, are now feeling the pressure a little bit, because Alex is on the prime tyre and seems to be a little bit faster at the moment, and I think Azamot is sort of trying to give a bit of room there as Twist Royalty posts a new fastest lap of the race. So yeah, Alex on the prime tyre, and just behind him is GC82. Yeah, Azamot's gone deep, he's struggling on those tyres. GC82's just gone deep behind him as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if Azamot is going to be making his way into the pits on this particular lap. Yep, there he goes, making his way to the pit lane. Oh, Boran's struggling. Yeah, Boran's struggling, but he did exactly what Azamot did. He went option, and his tyres are going to be struggling now as well.
Back on it front, Millstar and Twist Royalty side by side.
That's side by side. Oh, nicely done, guys, nicely done. I mean, okay, these guys have had a little bit of contact down the start finish. It's funny, that, isn't it? They've been going through corners, side by side, giving each other plenty of room. Absolutely beautifully. You get them on a straight, and all of a sudden, they have a crash. Now, Cool Mr. Ennis just popped up with the fastest lap of the race and then got disqualified, which would tend to suggest that there was quite a bit of corner cutting going on that particular lap, considering that it was 8/10 faster than Twist Royalty just did. Leaders are in. Now that's surprised me. That has surprised me. I mean, Twist Royalty, he's only been on the... Twist Royalty's only been on these tyres for what? 5 laps, but it's interesting that that Millstar followed him in. So Twist Royalty's gone option tyres again. RDB has gone ahead. So Millstar, he's got to have gone options. He has. Danny with a pit lane glitch, he's gone options. Okay, so Millstar and Twist Royalty matching each other's strategy here. So that does kind of show that the option tyres are taking an absolute pounding around this Mexico circuit. But it does mean that RDB is now in second place on option tyres that probably aren't going to get to the end of the race. Lefty Hardtail, he's leading the race, but he's on prime tyres that he will hope can get him to the end of the race. But I'll tell you what, let's go on board with Twist Royalty. It says he's 3 seconds behind the leader. We know that to be not correct yet. We're going to have to go through the end of Sector 2 and we'll see what the gap is. And Sector 2, I believe, is coming up any moment. 14.5 seconds. They may be able to make up that time in the final 4 or 5 laps of this race.
That'd be a bit of a push, would it not?
It would be a bit of a push, but brand new option tyres compared to prime tyres that are a little bit old and might not get to the end, the lap times will plummet. It's already gone down by nearly a second in the out lap, but Millstar now, with these guys for the first time being on the same tyre, Millstar attempting the DRS overtake, is ahead, just giving each other room again. I tell you what, these two really showing plenty of respect to each other, and this will be something that a few of the drivers have not been able to do with Twist Royalty when his car has been lagging about, and it's one of the reasons why I know a lot of drivers complain. Sorry? Yeah, cursed him again. But I know a lot of drivers complain when there's a lagging car, and it is for good reason. I mean, we've seen it a few times in the main league events where a car following another one, that car lags backwards and explodes the other car, and that's the worst effect of it. But when you're following a car and it is like a TARDIS all over the place, you don't know where to put your car. Whereas Millstar and Twist Royalty here have been showing that they kind of can see exactly where each other are because they've been giving each other the room. Now, another battle may happen here down into turn 1, but just want to have a quick look. Well, I was going to go and have a look at Cool Mr. Ennis, but then I just remembered he got disqualified, didn't he? Okay, Millstar and Twist Royalty are only 12.8 seconds off the leader, so it's come down by another second that lap, and they're catching up to RDB fairly quick. Let's go and see how John Rhinos is getting on. Let's see, he's on a set of option tyres at the moment. He'll be trying to take them to the end. He was hoping for a top 4 finish, but at the moment it's 8th place for him.
It's been a strong race from him. I've been watching him. He's been in a couple of battles. It has been a strong race. Sorry, my dog was trying to drink my cool coffee there.
Well, at least I'll try to drink your whiskey. Okay, GC82, we've not seen a lot of him throughout this race, but he's running the prime tyre at the moment, and it looks like he may be catching up to Drew ahead of him, and I think Drew is on a set of prime tyres as well. Yes, he is. Now, I mean, for a new guy coming in, Ray, what would you say is the minimum expectations for a new guy on his first event?
Minimum expectation, you keep the contact down to low. The ETLs we can sort out later, but the contact driver awareness is something as Millstar and RDB get close together. Yeah, just the contact and the driver awareness, you would like to keep that quite spot on.
Well, I would have said, Twist Royalty and Millstar are getting very, very close. So Twist Royalty and Millstar have both managed to get ahead of RDB. A little bit of contact there between Twist Royalty and Millstar. It was bound to happen at some point. They've been very, very close to each other all the way through this race. But I was going to say minimum expectation for a new guy coming in is get to the end. Right, that's got to be their aim, to get to the end. Because if they get to the end, it means they haven't been disqualified. And then you think of, right, keep it clean, don't be involved, don't cause any crashes, and as you said, the ETOs can be continued on. Now, obviously, if someone does get to the end but they've been shunting cars off left, right and centre, it's not going to look too good. But I think in many respects, for someone new coming in, that should be their aim, to get to the end. Which means if they've got to the end, they've not been disqualified for being off track too much. Drew just didn't quite give him enough room there as he was having a sneaky look up the inside. I think GC82 may have just been disqualified with how his car was going so slow there. I could be wrong. It just seemed to go very, very slow. Either that was trying to make sure he didn't get any kind of penalty, but I think Drew was perhaps a little bit naughty on that one as he was closing the door a little bit. But now here comes John Rhinos on Drew. Got DRS, sort of come out of nowhere on that one, trying to make a move up the inside. Can he get the move done? Oh, Drew moves across to try and defend it again, but John Rhinos has already gone past. Oh, no.
There's a car slowing down for the front runners who get well off track. I think it was Boran.
Possibly, but I'm going to have to cut you off a minute, Ray, as John Rhinos and Drew are fighting it out again. There's a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there, but John Rhinos fends off Drew, and he'll be hoping that GC82 will now be all over the back of Drew and get his attention. So you thought Boran was perhaps a lap down. Oh, do apologise, lefty hardtail. We've missed that one, and it's not letting me change on to any of the drivers, so I can't go and look at them. But lefty hardtail does take the victory here. But I think it's fair to say, I think Drew's had a bit of a mare, and it's not allowing him to get through. I think John Rhinos is going to be the next guy to cross the line. So I didn't get to catch Millstar and Twist Royalty having their battle at the end, but I wanted to try and view these guys a little bit further down. John Rhinos sneaks through to kind of take 6th place. GC82 gets through to take 7th. And Drew, I think, is in 8th at the moment with a Hart Alex in 9th. But yeah, I mean, lefty hardtail, he's come from the back to take the victory. He's a quick driver anyway, but I do think that he couldn't see half of the cars on the grid at the start of that race. I know exactly what will have happened there. Tyler got disconnected, or retired, and lefty hardtail will have come in his place and would probably have only been able to see the cars or the drivers that were above Tyler in the lobby. Because we've had it, haven't we, Ray, in the World Championship and twice in the World Championship. I don't think we've actually ever discussed it live, so I will discuss that in a moment. Remind me, viewers, to discuss the lobby oddities. So yeah, lefty hardtail takes the victory with a 1-stop. Twist Royalty 2nd place with a 2-stop. RDB 3rd. A Hard Danny 4th. Or Millstar, a few penalties there from being off track, possibly from being wheel to wheel. John Rhino 6th, Drew 7th, GC82 8th, Azamor 9th, Ahar Alex 10th, Boran 11th, then a few DNFs and a couple of DSQs. Okay. Oh, I tell you what. Okay, we may have focused a lot in that race on Twist Royalty and Millstar, but to be fair, it was a cracking battle that those two were having. Okay, the lobby oddities. I'll try and explain this now using the screen we've got here as a bit of a tool. Let's say we have just set up this lobby and we're going to get ready to go for a race. But lefty hardtail here gets disconnected or needs to leave the lobby for a moment. If he does that at exactly the same time somebody else joins the lobby, sometimes it will put that person in lefty hardtail's spot in the lobby, so it would put them there, right? But what happens is lefty hardtail can then only see Twist Royalty, Millstar, Ahar Alex, me and Ray, and then anybody else that joins the lobby after him, so they would be down here on the list, right? But all of these guys, he wouldn't be able to see them on the track. Now the only way to solve that problem would be for lefty hardtail to jump out and come back in, and when he comes back in, it'd be at the bottom of the list and would be able to see everybody above him in the lobby. Now obviously with lefty hardtail, it hasn't happened in the lobby. What's happened is his slot here in the lobby would have been taken up by Tyler. We've gone through to qualifying. Tyler gets disconnected in qualifying. Lefty Hardtail joins. So Lefty Hardtail effectively has taken Tyler's slot in the lobby, meaning the only cars that Lefty can see are the cars above him in the lobby, if that makes sense. So that's why that's happened. So this is a big tip to all F1 2015 gamers when you're setting up a lobby. When you join the lobby, if you haven't joined at the bottom of the list, you're out of sync. So big tip there for everybody. Okay, comments on that one, Ray, on the race?
No, that was great. That was fantastic racing. From Twist Royalty and Millstar, and from others who else did we have in a battle. We had John Rhinos in a battle, RDB, quite a few of them, and great, well, I'm going to say it was a great improvement from Mr. Cool Earnings, but then he got disconnected. He must have cussed it.
He didn't get disconnected, he got disqualified. But no, I mean, yeah, I mean, in those early stages, he showed signs of he'd learned his lesson. Now, it's possible that in the later stages, he got frustrated and thought, you know what, I'm just going to straight line these. We didn't get to see exactly what happened there. But because he has been disqualified, it will mean that he'll be at the bottom of the list for invites for last week. But this is why I said to him beforehand, if at the start of the race, right, if he hadn't qualified and at the start of the race he'd have just gone, right, I'm going to drive off really slow, let everyone else drive off, and I'm just going to make sure that I don't get a warning, don't get a penalty, don't get disqualified, I get round the track and I complete the race, right? Then you'd go, okay, he didn't get disqualified. And then he could work on that. There were hints in that race of showing a bit of on-track awareness, realising there's a car next to him and giving them a bit of room. And it's the little things like that that we've said on a number of occasions that we look out for, that we spot. The little things like Twist Royalty and Millstar, yeah, they had a crash. Millstar gave him the place. So, yes, they still had a crash, but Twist Royalty, it looked like, went, sorry, fella, my bad. So they were having a very interesting race there. Okay, any comments from YouTube or any questions from the YouTube viewers, Ray?
Tough Malibu. Whoa, what a race. Hammer Time, good race. John, what's his name? John Rhinos. Good race, got a penalty, but never saw what it was for. And that was it. Wasn't many on it. Drew's just came on and said hi. Hi, Drew.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that perhaps we didn't see the best of the FRR-idays drivers in, as I've said early on, with the likes of Mr. Hamilton 44, RMS Maranello, perhaps even, I'm not sure we saw the best of RDB, but as I mentioned, he would have had very, very little practice, if any, for this race because of doing the reserve drive this week. Same for Lefty Hardtail. But you get to see there is, I don't want to say a difference in class, but there is definitely, you got some fast drivers and you got some drivers that aren't as quick. But what I'm liking is that the fast drivers are showing they can go wheel to wheel, even if they are getting a few cut penalties. And the rest of the field are making improvements. They're making huge strides, and it'll get to the FRR-idays drivers are going to be sat there going, I'm better than him that's in the World Championship, or I'm better than him that's in the World Series, and they're going to want those places. The FRR-idays, if it keeps improving the quality of its driving, and I've just cursed it now for next week, if they keep improving their driving, then they're putting themselves on the radar for getting those reserve drives or potential permanent seats if they become available.
Yeah. Hando's just commented, good stuff tonight, and And guess what? We've just made your job even more tougher to pick a reserve.
I know. Well, yeah, I mean, there is two things to that. If he wins the title before the last race or two, but also, I mean,
I would like to rephrase that, not us the drivers. Sorry, not us the drivers.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Okay, time to bring this live stream to an end then. Next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel, it'll be in about half an hour's time for the Front Row Racing PCF, the Project Cars Fridays League, round 3, I believe it is, round 3 of season 3. Which is at the Oschersleben. Yeah, I'm not drunk. That's what it's called. The Oschersleben GP circuit. It's a really, really tricky track. If you don't know which one that is, but you know the sort of the history of the Project Cars leagues we do, that's the track that Dave the Harp rolled his car on in season 1 and lost the championship at the last race, last lap, last corner. So yeah, it's that track. And the guys are in the Lotus Type 72D Cosworth, which is a 1973 Formula 1 car. They're loud, they're leery, they haven't got much aeros, they haven't got much grip, but they're great fun to drive and they're great fun to watch the guys try and drive them. And having said that, Dave the Harp was rolled last week in the PCF, so it can still happen. So yeah, join us in about half an hour for that. It could be good. And if I remember rightly, the weather might be a little bit tricky for the drivers as well. But next up for the FRR-idays Cup will be next Friday, 7:30 p.m. for round 18 in Brazil. Just a quick notification as well. This is to see how many people watch all the way to the end of the live stream. Regarding what Front Row Racing is going to be doing after this season, announcements will be made soon. Because we haven't made any announcements yet, doesn't mean that we're not working or haven't been working for months on what will be coming after the end of this season. So
you've been working for months. You never tell me.
Months? I don't know. I tell you, working for months. I tell you what, it's easier for me to count my days off than it is to count which days I do stuff for Front Row Racing. Anyway, yeah. So announcements will be coming soon about what is going to be happening after the end of this season. But anyway, a fantastic event here from the FRR-idays drivers. So Ray, I'll say thank you to you, and the screaming children in the background, they love their daddy, because for about the last half hour all I've heard is Daddy, Daddy. They know how. And if anyone doesn't know what greeting means, it means crying. I'm taking your teddies. Okay. Right, time to bring this to an end. So, yeah, we'll see you next Friday for the FRR-idays, and we'll see you in about half an hour's time for the Project Cars Fridays League. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Front Row Racing DP. Have a good one. Thanks myself, yeah. Yeah, so thank you very much, and we'll see you all again soon.